What is an important life lesson for a contemporary art practitioner to learn?
It is, an idea to be yourself and to be yourself and to be honest to yourself. It is not easy all the time. It sounds very easy, but it is kind of a practice. And as you go through the journey, you learn. You learn to do it because to be yourself and to be honest in especially in case of your responses. Um, Generates kind of a meaning which makes sense to others, and that is how you connect yourself uh, with others. So I would say that decision to be yourself is an important life lesson.
Okay. Do you feel that the creative angst of an artist may necessarily persist in his existence?
It does, yes. It's very much. It's related to his entire being, and thereby, the struggle, that comes through one's way, and the struggle is part of that being. As we often say that your fate is your character. So your being actually decides what kind of path you would take and what struggle would thereby come your way. And so it is very much in implanted within that being of yourself.
What is the biggest fear of an artist, or what may be the biggest fear of an artist?
Um, you see it's especially with me, it's kind of a response to my immediate surrounding. Whatever I do, it comes out of a response to my surrounding, my experiences. um, so that capacity to respond is very vital to an artist like me. So there's a fear of drying up as an artist. So by which I mean that response some way or the other um, becomes you don't respond to things. That is a kind of a fear that an artist uh, would would have. That's an anxiety that one would have. So 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 the capacity to respond, I think, is all that decides what you make and how you make it. So once you lose it, you are in a very sort of a dangerous.
While transforming a thought into an artwork, how does medium specificity play its role? Like maybe prior to the construction of the work.
Mm. It is very, very, very important because, especially with me, what happens, there are many things that I've responded to as a sculptor, and I don't find a suitable material. It so happened because, a lot of what I'm, I plan to do um, comes also, it's sort of an automatic process because I'm responding to an object. The thought of the material is coming automatically to me. It's not sort of a detached process. Not that I responded to something and then I think of material. It comes in an organic sort of a way. So when I see that I'm not being able to find the material, when I make a drawing, so it comes out of my system. I need to bring it out of my system, and that is how my drawings have come into being. Um, but yes, material plays an important role, and it gives a character to what I'm responding to, especially when I turn it into a sculpture.
Do you ever get bored by your art?
Um, I won't say bored by my art, but I, at times it becomes sort of what you would call quote unquote a dead practice. But that is again to me very important because that again pushes me to something else. So I won't say bored. There are points when I'm repeating myself. I understand that I'm repeating myself, and so and but I know of that point, because that will push me to look for something else. So that is also there in that moment, and it's always a moment in itself when I cross that stage. It could be in terms of a motive, it could be in terms of a material, it could be in terms of a thought. But there is, of course, a connection with what I've been doing and what I will be doing.
How would you describe a day in your life without art, or without your practice, to be precise?
No, but that's next to impossible because even when I'm not physically doing, something, and I'm a very slow person. My work grows very, very, very slowly. So there are days when I'm mechanically working on something, and there are days when I'm not working, but I'm absorbing
Hmm.
things. So there has hardly been a day where I have not functioned as an artist. But that is as I said, that's next to impossible because that's a being that you are with.
Is there any aspect of our society which you would like to change through your art?
Uh, no, I don't think in that very ambitious way, and ambitious in the sense mm, mm, let me tell you, before art, I've studied sociology,
Mhm.
and as we all know, that art um, is is social. Art follows the cultural history of a society, definitely.
Exactly.
Uh, but I don't, I'm not conscious about it. But I've, of course, I look at things in a critical way. I have my own take on things, and they come out as reflections. But I don't, to me, it is never an agenda uh, for which I'm sort of working towards, because I don't operate, or I don't function in that. Uh, there's not a consciously formed objective for which I'm working towards. It is more of a compulsive act, but there are elements of criticality. That there are elements of skepticism. So all that I believe comes out as reflections, and they clear my positions. But definitely not that I would like something to change. There are so many things that I would like to change. but not with any ambition of of changing. I don't work in that way.
What do you think is an ideal age for a child to get exposed to visual art? Or what
Mm,
should be the ideal age for a
formative
child?
formative years, it depends. It depends on the person largely.
Hmm.
uh, some would come across that age quite early in one's life, and one may also come to that point at an age of 20. So it depends on the person. It depends on the kind of situation he's at, his circumstances. But of course, adolescence is always a very important point in life where you absorb things, you respond to it in your own way, their reactions, and I believe the absorption is on a completely different scale in adolescence.
Share your thoughts regarding how an art practitioner may evolve from the perspective of his conceptual depth and philosophical insight.
Mm. You see, again, these are these are a state of mind. It depends on the construction of the mind, and yes, a part of it could be cultivated, but again, it depends much on the nature of the person. The way one's thought process um, is sort of formed. So you see, whatever you depict as an artist, there's a psychological associations. The initial part of art production is kind of, I would say, an impulsive kind of an instinctive act, and then there are points when you look at it, and then the analysis of it begins, and then comes the conceptual part with sort of locating with sort of reading the indications of those psychological associations and the kind of narrations those psychological associations are forming. So to me, it's again an organic process. To me at least, it's not conscious that I don't form kind of a text beforehand, and then following the text I won't make something or form something. I would read those kind of texts which at times would come accidentally, and then form the concept according to it. I'm not bothered about also that uniformity of thought or uniformity of the visual register, because whatever I produce, however diverse it may be, both in its physical format and in its conceptual format, I'm sure that there is kind of a connection, and it forms. It reflects the mind of the artist. So to me, again, it's an organic process. It is, to me, it is not pre-planned. And there is an element of chance, but yes, of course, I am the person, one artist looking at things, one artist who sort of formed his ideas and thoughts, and there are elements of the situation that the person is located at. So all that is important to me, to form a text which would eventually come, uh, and again eventually come in an organic way. So to me, that is important.
What do you enjoy being more, the artist or the teacher?
Again, these are not sort of separate beings. It's one being. Um, when I'm teaching, not always do I come up with solutions which are essentially academic in nature. No, I'm a practicing artist, quote unquote, a practicing artist, and I would address many sort of things in the capacity of uh, a practicing artist, even when I'm functioning as a teacher, and um, and again, it's interdependent. One complements the other. So they are not two detached sort of entities. They are interlinked. So I enjoy being both. When I'm working, I enjoy myself as an artist. So there's hardly that separation. And teacher, I don't know, teacher is too big, sort of a word to me. Um, you know, we operate mostly, at the studio as studio instructors. I'm responding to things as an artist, uh, as the way I would have dealt with something as an artist, and I would share that, and I believe that is. What do I say? That is wisdom, because wisdom is not exactly how much you know, but your ability to share what you know
Uh,
with others. So that comes from your being as an artist, and of course, being a teacher creates that opportunity of sharing things.
okay, this is the last one, and Aditya, you may answer it from the perspective of a teacher or academician, or and as an artist as well. So, what advice can you give artists who are just starting out?
Advice. Advice is again a very big sort of a word, but it's difficult time. Um, just let me. The other day, I was reading a book, and where Bertrand Russell was asked to advise, young people. So he just used one word, and that is patience. Um, and now you know what it all means. Um, uh, I would say them to sort of to respond to their immediate surrounding, in the sense, because that decides the nature of what they are doing, and how that becomes a body of knowledge, and sort of to relate to what they see in the outside world, in quote unquote the art world, and because if you go only by what they see in the art world, it would get a little slippery, I would say. So it's best to form your own context, and sort of to get it, and then sort of to get that checked by what they are seeing around them, especially in the art world.